Visionary, thank you so much for joining me for another episode here at the Nothing for Granted podcast. Today, we are just going to jump right in because in the past few episodes, you've heard me talk a lot about money mindset, the perceived value behind the money that you spend, and just exactly what is the conversation that you're having with yourself about money, about your financial habits. And so today I want to share with you a thought that was deposited into me in, of course, the shower, because that's just where Holy Spirit likes to grab me, where it's nice and quiet, and my kids can't get to me. And so this morning, I was deposited this thought that I needed to share with you, and really I hope will ignite in you an understanding of the fact that even when in our human nature we think like, wow, my idea is just so groundbreaking, so huge, so big, even that massive idea is still merely a grain of sand compared to God's imagination in what He wants to do with you and through you. So today I will be speaking on the topic of it only takes one grant to transform your business. So with one grant of mass influx of money, you can get the staff that you need to support the tasks that you are drowning in, whether that's administrative tasks, whether that's personal tasks. You can get the photographer to do the brand redesign that you want to do for your products and services that you couldn't otherwise afford. You can get that new equipment that you've been drooling over, the one that's going to give you ease and bring you efficiency in your production processes. All you need is that one grant for the amount that you said and you know is needed to do the things that right now you cannot really afford. And so when you are looking at the Funding with Foresight matrix and you're like, I don't need all those grants. Sloan, I know that there's $2 million worth of opportunities on the matrix, but I don't need $200 million. I'd be happy with just 500. All you need is one. You don't need to go after all 2 million. All you need is one grant for $500, like you heard Kim Cross talk about in a prior episode. I'll link that down below if you haven't heard it. And here's the beautiful thing about getting just that one. And this is applicable in anything, okay? In any part of your life. If you can do it once, you can do it again. And you can do it again and again and again. You can replicate that. You can replicate that result because you've already done it. You've been through the process. So I want to talk to you about some of the things that I believe are holding you back from going to the next level. Number one is probably money. So if it is money, I want you to go back and listen to my cultural money mindset episode. That episode I have received an overwhelming amount of responses to that episode. I'm talking about even going to class at night and having, friends say, oh my gosh, that episode, that triggered me. I was right there with you. Like, yes, you're talking about my mom. Like, yes, this is me. Yes, I need to reposition my mental state and my conversations when it comes to money. I've had you guys in my DMs saying thank you so much for that episode. I received a Voxer from my friend this morning that said, thank you so much. This episode was so vulnerable and open, and thank you for sharing that. And I said, man, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that this episode is touching you and blessing you and bringing about tough conversations with not only within you, but within our community. All glory to God. If money is what's holding you back, I want you to ask yourself, why? Why are you willing to spend money on material things that fade away? Why are you willing to spend money on things that really have no real significance on the growth of your business, but you're not willing to invest that same money to help you build the legacy that you're trying to build for you, for your kids, for your great grandkids. I'm talking about building an empire. And you are held back by money. Like I mentioned in that episode, money is nothing more than a resource to be properly administrated, to use our skills to expand the kingdom. That's it. Money is a resource. It is not the end all be all. And I have found that the more I invest in myself fearlessly, because there's some investments that are scary. I've talked about it before, and I'd like to be very candid about what it takes to be in the position that I'm in, because this was not always the case. I would see a $500 course in the past and say, man, I don't know. I can't really afford $500 just yet. Maybe in a couple months, maybe in a year. It wasn't until the past few years when I said, you know what? I'm going to make it work. Maybe I don't have it now, but I'm going to trust that if I'm here, it's for a reason, and I'm going to invest this money, and God, please provide. You're going to provide. We're going to make this work. And the investment pays dividends on itself each and every time, because I step out in faith. I don't see money as an inhibitor anymore. I see money as the resource that it was created to be. So that's number one, is what's holding you back. It could be money. The second thing that can be holding you back about pursuing funding when it comes to your business is maybe fear not knowing where to begin. And this to me is kind of funny, kind of not, but kind of so, because I have so many resources created for you as a visionary female founder so that you could start or scale your business using grants. And this is incredible, because what we're talking about is money to help you start your business. So you haven't even started. It's still just words in your journal. Or you are already a running business and you really just want to get to that next level. So if you don't know where to begin with funding, I created a free masterclass. The response that I've received on this was incredible. 45 minutes. It's going to take you from what the heck am I doing to, oh, wait a minute, I got this. I've got this. 45 minutes of free, nonstop goodness that is going to help guide you in starting to get funding for your vision. So you can get access to this by visiting my website at buffaloambitionco.com to enroll. Again, totally free. You are going to want to have a pen, a pad. You might even want to have your computer with you, or just a separate tab open, on your computer. That way you can follow along to some of the resources that I'm going to be guiding you through. So many nuggets that are going to just take you through the process and give you that confidence you need to really begin. And of course, you can always go back, reread the information, reread your notes as you continue to grow. So once you do the masterclass, you can sign up for the Funding with Foresight Matrix. And this was created, again, for visionary women-owned businesses. There's millions of dollars out there right now that I'm bringing straight to your fingertips because I've eliminated that need for you to do your own research. I'm talking about hundreds of hours of research because this matrix is continuously being updated, and I'm taking care of that for you. That is where the bulk of the time really goes when you're looking at funding, is finding, what am I really eligible for? How do I know that this is meant for me? How do I know that I'm not going through 4 hours worth of an application only to find out at the end, guess what? I can't even apply to this because it's region specific. Or I can't apply to this because they have a restriction on the use of funds and I specifically need this money for equipment and they don't fund that. These are things that I encountered myself when I was first starting out. And as a business owner, my time is valuable. I tell my daughter all the time as I am in this Kris Jenner momager role now of the number one thing that you have, the number one non-renewable resource that you have is your time. Where you are prioritizing your time is important. Where you are allowing people to take from your time, that is important. I have this constant dialogue with her about, what's mommy's number one pet peeve? And she knows it's people wasting my time. I am a stickler for that. And so as a business owner, I get it. And that's why I created this resource that's really going to eliminate a lot of that time spent just looking for the opportunities. I've made it even easier for you by dividing up the grants by industry. So you'll have industries like food and beverage. You'll have industries like child entrepreneurship, actually, which I started putting in there because these are things that I'm already using for myself. And guys, I will not share anything with you that I'm not implementing myself, right? These are things that I already use on a daily basis. And all I've done is made it so that you can join me as well, so that you can have the same or similar or better results as me using the same tools that I use. So this isn't something that I created solely for you. This is something that I created for myself, and I'm sharing with you because I've had mass success in using this tool. So you have child entrepreneurship, you have food and beverage, you have minority-owned businesses, female-founded businesses. You have an archives folder, which is constantly being looked at because grants, maybe the deadline expired, but guess what? Sometimes they have investors that come back and they say, you know what? We have enough money to reopen. And so they'll open up again for another funding cycle before the year's over. So you have an archives section where you can look and see what's already passed, what interests you, maybe something that you want to keep your eye on. I have in there beauty industry, of course, as a beauty academy owner. Those are grants that I am pursuing. As a cosmetology student currently, those are grants that I am pursuing. So we have so many different industries, tech and creatives, all kinds. There's over 10 categories. So that all you have to do when you go through the masterclass, you'll notice I have a whole exercise for you where it will show you exactly how do you know what industries to go through. Super easy. I'm talking about 3rd grade level exercise. So check that out. You can sign up for the Funding with Foresight Matrix at buffalomissionco.com/fundyourvision. Super beneficial because you also get access to my exclusive student group where you can ask questions. This is actually the only way to work with me one-on-one is by being a student of the Funding with Foresight Matrix. So number 3, I would say, is you don't believe it actually works. And yes, I'm calling you out on these. I'm not sorry. I'm doing it because I love you. I care. I want to see your vision fulfilled to its entirety. I don't think that you actually think this funding thing works. I think that you maybe want to do it 100% like everybody else. Credit card debt, get loans, ask friends and family for donations. That's perfectly fine. But if you are about doing things maybe an unconventional way, maybe a creative way, if you are about building your business in a way that is debt-free, then this is definitely a great strategy to start implementing into your business, okay? I also want to remind you that if you take a second, okay, and realize that nothing happens by coincidence, there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're listening to the sound of my voice right now. There's a reason why this information is being presented to you over and over and over again. God is wanting to show you something, but you have to be open and willing to receive it. Okay, I want to take you back. Let's go back to 2020 when PPP loans came out for small businesses, okay? And how everybody, including you, was flocking to that money. All of a sudden, everybody wanted just to open a business so they can get PPP loans. And you didn't care about the application process. All you saw was the potential money that was available for you to keep your business afloat. Now, here's the thing. Here's the funny part of all of this is that this free money, it's always existed for small businesses. You just didn't know about it. PPP, COVID money, these emergency funds that came about and were made widely accessible, they've always existed. Small business grants have always existed. You just weren't privy to that information. And now you are. And that's why information is awareness. And that's why information is power, right? There have been thousands of businesses that have seen years worth of growth in just a matter of months by securing funding. This isn't a new thing. This isn't a new concept. And so I want to take you back to the fact that this is not a coincidence. I'm actually going to be giving you some scripture here that came to me just yesterday in my Bible study and my daily devotional. And it has not left my mind. I literally am just mulling over this word nonstop. And so I'm going to be reading from Luke 12:27 through 22 through 34. We're going to be jumping around here. But I really just want to share with you because it really just spoke to me. And I hope it speaks to you too. And so it says, then Jesus said to his disciples, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than birds? Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very thing, why do you worry about the rest? This spoke to me, especially when it said about the birds. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. They have nothing, yet God provides. Because he makes a way out of no way. Because he makes something out of nothing. And so when I went into my Matthew Henry commentary, this is what it says. Our anxiety and worry is due to poor faith. This unnecessary worry shows not only a lack of faith, but also demonstrates a lack of prudence. Your worry is an indicator of where you are putting your faith. If your faith is placed in the Lord, you would know that he is the great provider. And he's referencing verses 29 through 30 in that part. Here is the thing. Okay, as it says in verse 30, for the pagan world runs after all such things, and your Father knows that you need them. So the world may build their businesses in whatever traditional ways they want. Okay? But God our Father knows that we need money to build our businesses. We need staff. We need equipment. We have needs that, when fulfilled, will help us grow. Will help us maximize our impact. Okay? And if he knows that we need these things, of course he's going to provide them for us. Of course he will. Because he deposited that vision in you to begin with. And it pierced me when Matthew Henry explains that our anxiety and worry is an indicator of lack of faith and prudence, lack of maturity. I said, oh my gosh, worrying about my business and the needs it has and where I'm going to come up with this money and is this grant going to go through and all the things, it's showing how little we are still in the faith. How little we have matured. And I said, nope, because I'm trying to get deeper and deeper in the word every single day. I want to grow. I don't want to stay a child in my faith. I want to grow. I want to be strengthened. And for me, that was just a reminder that my faith isn't and shouldn't be placed on what I can physically see. You know, we're building out, we're building out the academy right now. And trust me, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And permitting has been a pain. And there's all these things that are happening that even yesterday I went down to the permitting office and she said, thank you so much for coming down. Most people would have just continued to communicate via email. And I said, I'm not most people. Thankfully, I believe and I know that when there's a lot of opposition, God is working. And these are all just opportunities for me to get to know you, for example, or your manager or your tech team. These are networks and connections that I'm building as we form longer relationships, which maybe otherwise would have never been initiated had my process been smoother. I said, I'm not worried about this academy because I know when it opens, it's going to bless a lot of people in this community. But I am grateful because God has given me this opportunity to network with you. And she said, I love that perspective. I'm not worried about the permitting issues because I know that if God is delaying it, it's for a reason. His time is perfect. He has to provide. This is his business. This is his vision. He's not going to let it fall. It's my job to just move in action. And so I hope that Luke 22 through 34, if it spoke to you, go a little deeper. Ask God what it is he wants to reveal to you through those verses, because they definitely spoke to me. My last tip here, the last reason I believe you have not implemented funding into your revenue strategy is because you think that your business is not ready yet. And again, I believe that readiness is that's relative. That's relative. I do everything before I'm quote unquote ready by other people's standards. Even now in cosmetology, my instructor is like, why are you cutting hair yet? Why are you cutting hair yet? We haven't even gone over cutting. I said, oh yeah, no worries. I already gave my sister a micro bob, gave my niece her first day of school haircut, did a balayage on my sister's micro bob, and came out fire. Thanks. Oh, but you're not ready. According to you. According to other cosmetologists that have been in the industry for 25 years, they would have never guessed that I just started this accelerated program. So readiness, I only share that with you because I want to show you that readiness is nothing more than a lie you tell yourself. I'm not ready yet. Why not? You could always throw yourself to the sharks and find out. Try. There's businesses that are only in the idea stage of their journey, and they've been able to secure money to help them figure it out. Literally, here's $1,000 plus one-on-one mentorship to help map out the next 6 months to a year of your business that you haven't even legally formed yet. I'm not even kidding. These have been conversations that I've had with multiple business owners. These have been examples that I've seen. These have been people that I've known. Again, this isn't a new concept. There's no milestone that you have to meet before you are quote unquote eligible to start implementing funding. It's just you going out and getting the grants that are in that stage. Whatever stage you're in, there's a grant for you. And I've made it so easy with the matrix. So all you have to do is find the one that you are eligible, because it only takes one. Also, some food for thought. As a business owner, you are hopefully, fingers crossed, always talking to people about the work that you do and the people you impact anyways. All of the time. Hey, what do you do for business? This is what I do. Hey, what do you do for business? This is what I do. Just yesterday, hey, what do you do for business? I give access to money for visionary female founders so they can start and grow their business. Dope. That's the response that you're going to get from most people. Oh my God, yeah, I'm going to check it out. Oh my God, yes, love the work that you're doing. Give me your Instagram. You know what the difference here is? When you are completing that grant application, that's all you're doing is telling them about your business, telling them about the people that you're impacting, telling them about the impact that you're making on your community and that ripple effect. The difference here is that in this, you have an opportunity to get a different response, like, love what you're doing. Here's a check for $5,000 to build that business up to the next level. Let's kick it up a notch. That's the difference. You're not doing anything else. You're already talking to people all day about your baking business, about your photography business, about your VA business. Whatever your business is, you're already talking about it all the time. Here you have the potential to get something in return for it. You only need one grant to take you to the next level. You only need that one check to provide everything that you need to hit those metrics that you have set for yourself. One. It only takes one. If you are ready to take it to the next level, you have 4 months left. 4 months left in 2022. Whatever habits you said you wanted to build at the beginning of the year, if you haven't done it by now, this is still a great time to start. It's never too late. There are funds being allocated for 2023. Give them a reason to spend it on you. Walk out in bold faith, because there is money available for you. So many amazing reasons why you need to start implementing funding into your revenue strategy. Let me know if there is something outside of this. If you have any questions that I can help clarify for you, if you have any comments, if this spoke to you, please send me a DM on Instagram. You guys are great about chatting it up on there. Join me at the Funding with Foresight Matrix to completely transform your vision. And I will see you in next Friday's episode. You have a blessed rest of your week. Before you go, don't forget to rate, review, and share this podcast with a friend that needs to hear it. See you in next week's episode.